Hi, we're gonna make some quiche today, but before we get into that, there's two diet books that I saved. The rest of them went out the door to the local library. The first one is Atkins for Life, and I got this because it's mostly protein and that's where we're headed. So it's important to kind of look at this, and I haven't referred to it a lot since I've been, since the surgery, but it is a good book, a good reference book. So I do recommend it. So this book is called The Martini Diet, and I got this as a tongue-in-cheek diet book from one of my girlfriends who also struggles with her weight. It was published in 2004 by Jennifer Sander, and the basis of the book is that if you are going to put something into your mouth, it should only be the very best ingredients, the freshest, the finest, the very, very best, and the portions should be small and only at meal times. For the gastric bypass patient with a new way of eating, the number of meal times are between 3 and 6 per day. But the portions are also very small. The book is funny and entertaining, and whenever I put my tiny portion on my pretty little plate, I think of this book. So now let's talk about quiche. Yes, my real man actually eats quiche, and it's one of those dishes that you can make to be very basic with not much flavor.
Today we're going to make individual servings of breakfast sausage, mushroom, and pepper quiche.
You can add in almost any kind of veggie, asparagus, beans, peas. Just make it sure that it complements whatever protein you're using. I make the same recipe substituting the sausage with leftover salmon or leftover chicken. I use 1 pound of hot or medium breakfast sausage, Bob Evans or Tennessee Pride, and I fry it until it just... So we're going to start with some Jimmy Dean hot pork sausage for our quiche, and I'm making a breakfast quiche. It's sausage and green peppers and mushrooms and all kinds of good things. So we're gonna take and we're gonna fry this sausage until it's just crisp, because you've got to remember you're gonna put it in the oven, and you want this to look real nice and crispy, and you don't want it to get soggy in the quiche. You want it to kind of stand out, and it's got a beautiful flavor. I like Jimmy Dean. I also like Tennessee Pride. They don't have a lot of additives in their sausages, so you know, gluten these pieces to be as little as possible, because again, you know, these are going to go into some pretty small little containers, little quiche dishes, because we're going to make individual portions. And we'll come back when this is all done. The sausage has been frying up, and this is about how the sausage should look. Notice that the crumbles are kind of small, and this should nicely go into the quiche. What you have to remember when you're making this is that this has to cool down before you can actually add it to the egg mixture. So we're going to set it off to the side on the back burner here so that it can cool. Drain the sausage, then put the sausage onto paper towels, dab the paper towels to get as much of the grease off as possible, and then save the bits and pieces of the sausage in the pan. So the quiche, there are a number of ingredients. We're going to use 12 eggs today. We have preformed individual pastry crusts from the freezer department, and I'm all about easy and, you know, quick. So you can make your own pie crust if you're really good at that and that's your thing. I'm all about simple. So at my local store they come 8 in a package, and I don't bake them ahead of time. So they come, 2 in a little bag, and you just separate them out and you put them on your cookie sheet like so. And these bake up really good. So probably I will, with 12 eggs, there will be enough for 16 of these little quiches. But I'm going to make a large quiche because I'm having some company. So these individual ones are so that I know how much I'm eating. I can kind of keep track of where I'm at. And this is mine. That's that food possession problem that we have. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take the whole milk, and I've got about a half a cup of, and I'm using whipping cream, heavy cream. And I'm using 2 cups of mozzarella cheese. Put that in there. And then I use this crazy little thing called the Vidalia onion chopper. And the reason that I like to use it is because it has these little plates, and you can see everything you chop is going to be the same size. And so when it's the same size, it cooks evenly. Now, I also bought this because I have grandbabies, and I don't like them around knives. They're little. At the time, 2 and 4 years old, they were wanting to help me in the kitchen. So this gave me a good way for them to kind of get used to chopping things for me, and yet not have to worry about their little hands getting caught in the knives. So I take a half of a green pepper and a half of a red pepper, and I chop it fine. And these come out quite perfect. I put them in this mixture. And then I take a small onion. I'm using Vidalia onions in this particular recipe. Some people don't like this much onion. I am all about flavor, so I like a lot of onion and pepper. I use the tops of the peppers as well. And then I use about 5 mushrooms. Mushrooms are really good for you. I clean them. And again, everything's kind of the same size, so everything will cook really nice and evenly. I kind of just mix that up together before I add in my 12 eggs. I always put my eggs in a separate bowl just in case I end up with a shell or something in the egg mixture. I beat my eggs together. And you don't want to be able to see a solid yolk anywhere. You want it all kind of blended together. And because I'm using kind of a spicy sausage, I want to use a kind of a blend of peppers. So I'm going to put in some salt, and I would say about a teaspoon of salt. And then this particular pepper I like. It's called a peppercorn medley grinder. McCormick makes it, and I happen to like it. And you can tell it how to grind it, like if you want it coarse or fine. And I put about a teaspoon of that in as well. Mix it together. And then pour it into your other bowl. Mix it up. And now you can add in your meat. Now notice I can touch it, it's not too hot. You'll notice the consistency here is, it's not real thick. I'd like to see it a little thinner. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add about a half a cup of water. And I'm going to give that a little bit of a stir. If you don't have it thin enough, then I think what happens is you end up with a bad consistency. It's not fluffy. So you want to make it a little fluffy. And so adding just a tad of water, a little bit at a time. Gives you the consistency that you really want. There you go. Then you're going to take just a soup ladle. And you're going to ladle into your quiche pots. Now remember that this quiche is really good for you. It's high in protein. It has good vegetables, things that are nutritionally good for you. And probably one of the yummiest quiches that I make. So we're going to put it in the oven at 350 for 30 minutes. We're going to check it for doneness. Put the knife into the center. If the knife comes out clean, that means that they're done. And that's okay. Our quiches are done. They're out of the oven and they look beautiful. And the way to tell if they're done is to insert a knife into the center, and if the knife comes out clean, then it's done. If it comes out and there's a little bit of egg on it, or you see any kind of
ingredient on it, that means it could probably go a little longer.
So as you can see,
But that's our
the quiche are
quiche.
done, and 2 of these fit into this container. And so for breakfast, lunch, dinner, snack, whatever, you can have 2 of these. I freeze them. I also love to have mine with this sauce. It's called sriracha sauce, and it's a hot chili sauce. It's not really hot, although it does have a little kick to it. I think it tastes best with this little sauce. So, again, remember that you've got to love yourself before you can share it with anyone else. So, take care. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.